How pissed are you gonna be if he's not in there?
Good morning, guys.
You can't see!
I was literally just told to film this. I'm not a part of this. Good one. Nice. Now it's Alex's turn. Good morning, guys. I wanted to do my first ever story time with Simi, so I wanted to do just a little story series to find out more about me, to hear some stories, and I saw another YouTuber doing it, and I really liked her video, and I was like, that'd be fun. I should tell life stories, like just little incidents that happened to me, how I met people, and that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to do, so let's get started on a story time with Simi. So first off, I apologize that if the fan is way too loud. It is so stinking hot up here. I need to have a fan in. If I have the window open, it's going to have all the cars and stuff going by, so I thought this would be a better option. So anyways, let's get started with our story. I'm going to tell you the story of how I met Andrew Purcell. So, this story is actually a pretty interesting story. It's not your typical, like, love story, like, oh, I saw him and I fell in love. Like, no. It's not like that. When I met Andrew, he was a sophomore and I was a junior, and I had taken a geometry class my sophomore year, but I had gotten like a C minus or like I don't know, like I don't know how it goes, but I think it's like C plus, like C, and then like C minus maybe, but I got like a C minus, so I got like the lowest C that you could get, and I didn't want that to be like, I didn't want to not get my credits because I got like a C. And so I was like, I'm going to retake it. And also I needed to take a math class, but I told my counselor guy person that I was like, I'm not ready for this next level yet. I need to like go back over this because I have an understanding of it, but I don't have a great understanding of it. And let me just side note it, so like, side note, I am super bad at math, so it's like, I did not want to move on because I was going to feel so stupid in the next class. So it's like, I'll just take that my next year. And my friend Helena was going to take it. Yeah. Got something on my skirt. Hold on. I told you these would be random. So my friend Helena, who you guys have seen in the vlogs before, or Lainey, I call her Lainey, but you know, her name's Lainey. She had the same situation. She was going to have to retake geometry, and so we were going to take it together. So for like the first part of the semester, we took it together, and then the counselor guy was all like, I don't think you two should be in the same class because you distract each other, which is a totally different story that I will tell you later, and maybe I'll tell you actually with Helena, you know, we'll do a story time with her, but if you want to hear it. So they moved her out of the class, and I was like all alone in this math class, basically with a bunch of sophomores, you know, so it's not even like my grades. I like know nobody. And me and Andrew, well, I would say more like Andrew's friend at the time, but Kyle walked into the class, and he started talking to me and being really nice, and like we started having conversations. And then I found out that I had him in science class too. Chemistry, I think it was chemistry. So we had that together too, so we started like talking in chemistry and then continuing to talk in math. And I sat like right here, so like this is my desk, and then like this is Andrew's desk, and it's just two desks put together, and that's how it goes. And we weren't in the front, we had one desk in front of us, and then like the 2 or 3 behind us, so you're like the second row, and Andrew sat here, and then Kyle sat kitty corner, like not directly behind him, but like to the side behind him. Kyle sat here, and our friend Randy sat here. and then the board is there, and like the teacher is in the corner over there. Okay, so we're like on the furthest side, and like the door is right here. I'm just trying to paint a picture. And so I was here, and Andrew's here. Well, Andrew like was totally like oblivious to the fact that he had like a desk partner. That's what our school called it, desk partners. It's like our main kindergarten, we desk partners. So when he would come into class, he'd come into class and he put his backpack on my desk, and then he'd turn around and he'd talk to Kyle and Randy. And when I came in, his backpack was always on my desk. So for the first couple of days, I was like, am I even assigned to this seat? Like, does he not know I'm here? Or like, am I in the wrong seat? So I asked Miss Rice, when I see this, she's like, no, it's there. And then I just started getting irritated, so I just started every day taking off his backpack and putting it on the floor. And some days, I'll just admit it, I slammed it a little harder than I probably should have. But it's like so annoying. This guy keeps just putting his backpack on my desk and he won't stop. And like, I sit there every single day, and the whole time during class, we did not talk, we did not communicate at anything. Any chance he had to like partner with somebody, he partnered with Kyle and Randy, and like they did like the project together, and like I just basically did it by myself. So like I basically was sitting there like just completely by myself, isolated from everybody, not talking to anybody, just trying to get the math and everything done and everything like that. Well then, time went on. I think it was like, let's see, we met in like November maybe, so it was like a month. Helena left the first month, so it was like 2 or 3 weeks of him like putting his stuff on my desk, and I was just getting really annoyed. So I started telling Kyle about it, and I was like, this is really annoying guy. He's like, oh yeah, I know him, he's Andrew. I was like, oh well, he only puts his backpack on my stuff and then like doesn't talk to me the rest of the time, so I don't know what his problem was. Sorry, I just got up, so I'm really tired. And so then Kyle was like, oh well, I'll tell him not to put his backpack there anymore. So then we go into class that day, and he had his backpack on my desk, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is just, again, this guy is so annoying. And I'm like getting to the point where I'm like ready to yell at him, like, excuse me, I sit here like every single day, can you just like be courteous and like put it on the floor? And then I walk in and Kyle was like, hi Simone, how are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. And then Andrew like whips his head around. It looked like he got like whiplash. He whipped his head around and was like, who are you talking to? And he looks back at Kyle, and Kyle's like, your desk mate that's been there for like 3 weeks that you haven't noticed. And he's like, oh, cool. And then he turns around, takes his backpack off the desk, puts it on the floor, and goes back to talking to them. And like, that's the first true interaction that we ever had. So then Kyle, like, I guess was talking to him about like who I am, and he was like asking questions and stuff. And so he was gonna try to be like nice to me and like, you know, be my friend, I guess. And so we started talking, and I started helping him with his math, and he started helping me with my math, which basically in Andrew land means he would copy off my paper and put the exact same answers and then turn it in. So that's like helping, you know. And then so then anyways, Helena came into the class one time to do math homework together, because it was like a math study. I don't know if other schools have that, but we have like a day in math class where you can just like catch up on your work in math, obviously. And so Helena had a geometry class, but she was like in a different one with a different teacher. So she came in, and we were going to do our geometry homework together. And we were talking about a sleepover that we were going to have that weekend with me and I think Sarah, and I think a couple of my other friends. We're all going to come over, and we were going to like get pizza, we were going to get like a lot of snacks and soda, and we were going to rent like 3 movies. We were gonna rent like 3 movies, and this is at the time that Blockbuster was like still, you know, like popping. So we were gonna get it for Blockbuster, just for the record. So well, at least I thought it was still popping. They were still around. There was one up at the Albertsons, like right next to the Subway. So we were like, oh, we'll just walk up there, and we had like money for our own snacks. My mom and dad were gonna buy the pizza, and they bought like chips and a thing of soda, but we were like, oh, we need more stuff in it. So after school, we were gonna go to the Albertsons and get like, that's funny. I want to go to there. I just thought of that quote. Sorry. We were gonna go there. We were gonna get extra chips. We were gonna get popcorn, like bags of popcorn. We were gonna get M&Ms and other candies and more soda for our sleepover. And then we were also gonna pick out the movies on the way there, and then go home and party. Anyways, and then so Andrew was like trying to get to know me, and so he was like listening in on our conversation to try to figure out what to talk to me about. And so he was listening in, and he heard only like sleepovers, eat a whole pizza, and he thought like I could eat this pizza by myself. Like I was talking about getting like an extra large pizza, pepperoni, and like he thought like I could eat the pizza by myself. So like in his mind, I guess it was him being like, I guess he was being smart, basically, you know, like smart, like sarcastic smart. Like he thought it would like make me laugh, and like it would start a conversation between us, and that he was being funny. But he was not being funny, because I was sitting here, and not like this, because like, well, here, I'll sell it. Okay, so I'm like at my desk, and Helena's like right here on the side of my desk, and then Andrew is right there, and then Kyle and Randy are right there. So Andrew turns around and says something to Kyle, and Kyle says, no, dude, don't do that, or something to that variation, because I was barely listening, because I'm talking to Helena about my sleepover. And so he turns to me, and he goes, taps me on the shoulder, and he goes, did you just get back from fat camp, and do they miss you? And I was so shocked. Nobody actually, not even any girls or like parents or just nobody in the world had ever asked me if I had been to fat camp, and especially not if they had missed me. And I don't know what it is, because I'm usually a pretty like I don't know, like I don't talk to people, like if they're strangers, I'm kind of more like shyish, you know, and like quiet, and like I don't know what overcame me, but I got so mad that I just, my hand just went up and slapped him across the face, and on the back came back. So he got like a he got more whiplash. So I smacked him like this, and then like that back. Like I wasn't intending to slap him back like this, but my hand was just like coming back to my side, and it hit him in the face. And it was really loud too. It was like a, okay, I can't make the noise, but it was louder than that. Andrew could do it really, you know, like a really big clack. Like if we were outside and in the forest, all the birds would fly away, you know, like that big. Maybe I'm exaggerating this a little, but it was pretty loud. The teacher saw, and the teacher just started laughing, because her name was Miss Reyes, and she was just the funniest, nicest teacher ever, and she just knew how Andrew could be, so she just laughed, and she's just like, okay guys, back to homework. And Kyle is over here, and I hear Kyle laughing, and Randy's laughing, and they're just laughing, like, Kyle's laughing, like, hysterically, like, he's gonna die laughing. Helena's over here laughing, and just, like, cracking up, her face is turning red, and I think she was, like, tearing up. It was so funny. And then he said, like, well, of course he said a really mean thing, because he just got, you know, slapped. He's like, I think he, like, said, you know, like, the B word or something like that. I wasn't paying attention at that point. I wasn't paying attention at that point, so I went back to my work, and I just continued to talk to Helena, like, with no other, like, inkling of what had just happened. I wasn't going to apologize for it, blah, blah, you know. So we leave, and we get on the bus, and then me and Helena actually discuss it, and I'm like, can you believe how rude he is, and all that stuff. And then the very next day, that was a Thursday, so this is Friday, which is also the day I'm gonna have my sleepover. And we're having a great day. Me and Helena are hanging out. We're planning everything out, like where everybody's gonna meet, who's gonna actually get on my bus with me, which is gonna be Helena, because at that time she was riding my bus home, and then she'd take the city bus or the Max to where she lives. So she'd stay and hang out here and most of the time eat dinner here and do homework. And then she'd get on the bus and go home. So we go into math class and Helena says goodbye to me and she says good luck. And I'm like fully expecting like no apology because I just like think that like that's the type of guy he is. And so I sit down at my desk and he's not there and his backpack's not there, so I sit down and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a little like concerned that maybe I hurt him, like am I gonna get in trouble for this, like is he gonna, you know, like go to the principal, because I've had people who were like, I took somebody's pencil one time, which is a totally different story, off their desk and thought it was mine and used it, and she went down to the principal's office and like tried to get me in trouble for like stealing her pencil purposely. She said, like, she told the principal that it was like her special pencil and it was like a purple pencil with like a yellowish eraser, and she like loved this, like this pencil was her lucky thing to do homework, and, like I had to apologize, and then the principal was like, I'm sorry for that, you shouldn't have been called down for stealing a pencil because like it's so easy to do, but that's a different story. Anyways, so I'm like writing and filling in the work on the board, and it's another like work day. So we basically don't have the teacher standing up there and telling us what to do. She's just like, do your work day. She plays music, and sometimes the TV is on to like watch the news. And so I start my homework, get all my papers, like I do my homework. I'm doing my homework, and she sets it all up so that there's music playing and everything. And then Andrew, Kyle, Randy, and another friend walk in. And they all sit down, and Andrew sits at his desk, and he puts his backpack next to me, and I'm just like purposely trying to ignore him. I'm just like sitting like this, like purposely moving my body this way so like I don't have to have an interaction with him. And he puts out his paper, and he puts out his pencils and everything, and then he's still taking things out of his bag, and I'm like, oh my god, just do your homework and turn around and talk to your friends, because I seriously don't want to talk to you right now. And also, I didn't have Helena there, so, like, I didn't have, like, a backup, and I feel better when I had, like, a backup, so I was like, I just don't want to deal with this today. I'm having a fun sleepover. I don't want to do this. And then, I just seeing him taking stuff out of his backpack, like, from the side of my eye, so I don't really know what he's taking out. Like, I can't fully see it. But he usually did bring, like, a soda to class, because we had like soda machines all over the school, but it's that soda, like the zero sodas, you know, like they didn't have regular soda, they had diet and then zero sodas, and then they have water too. So I saw what I thought was like a soda bottle, and like he put it down on his desk, and then I saw him pull out another one. I'm like, oh, so he must have got them for like all his friends, and they're gonna be rowdy and annoying today. And then he takes out the secondary bottle and he slides it across, like, it's two desks. It's not one big desk, so it's two desks. So there's, like, a little crack in the middle. So he slides it over that, puts it on my desk, pushes it right into my view, because he knows I'm trying to avoid him. And sets it there and then flips it. And on a little card is sorry, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of a nice, like, it's not the greatest apology, but it's an apology. And so then he just starts talking to me like everything's cool, and like, hey, do you want to do your homework stuff with us? And I was like, I guess so, sure. And there's nobody standing in front of us, so Kyle and Randy and their friend took the desks and turned them around so we could make one big desk to all work together. And then we started talking and actually started like communicating and everything like that, and basically that's how we met. Tweet me and I'll tweet you back. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.